Right here, right now.
It's time to get totally crossed out with Brandon and Shannon. This is the only podcast where money, sports, technology, culture, and relationships cross. That's right, straight out of Indianapolis. From the 317 studios. Two brothers, real talk, right focus, right here and right now. Let's get totally crossed out with your podcast host, brothers from another mother, just trying to do it the right way, Brandon and Shannon.
What is good, everybody? What is good? What up, Grady?
What's up, BP?
Hey, man, we welcome y'all to another episode of Totally
Crossed
Out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, welcome back, man. It's been a while. Grady, how you living, my brother?
Hey, man, life has been cool, man. Life has been quite cool, man. Father's Day is here, man.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you, homeboy. Yes,
hey, I
sir.
appreciate that, man. And hey, shout out to the wives, even on Father's Day, for giving us a window to get it in right now.
Yes, much thanks. Thank y'all so much for holding us down.
Yeah, and happy Father's Day to all y'all out there, whether you are fatherly or a father in and of yourself. Happy Father's Day to y'all.
Yes.
Boy, it's funny how the fanfare Mother's Day get, boy. They say Father's Day, you get some time on the clock, some cologne or some socks. Something like that. What'd you get, Grady? How you do this year? You do all right?
Hey, man, your boy had to go and buy his own tool set.
I'm not mad at it, man. I was doing the hedges earlier this week. No lie. Real talk. 5 amp hour battery. DeWalt, holla at your boy. Come on, man.
And I'm not joking at all. She said, yeah, hey, just go to whatever that place is called. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, just go there and it's that tool set in the ad. Harbor Freight. That's what it is. Harbor Freight.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there yesterday and got my own tool set.
Did you get busy? Or is it just you still charging him up?
I will crack it open though. I will. I ain't cracked it open yet, but I know I will here real soon, man. She keeps some projects going on.
Man. But I know it's been a while, Grady. I know it has been a while, man. We have to give a shout too for all the love and some longevity. It's the 10th episode, man. Number 10.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes. And much thanks, y'all. Also, 150, if I'm not mistaken, 150 downloads. If I remember correctly, I think I saw that milestone. So yeah, much thanks for the support, y'all. Word up.
Yeah, man, that's love. That's love. But it's been a good Father's Day. Enjoyed that, man, because it's actually interesting. You know, all this COVID stuff on a serious tip has been wild. We went to church today and had some parking lot service. Isn't that right, Grady? Got to see you for the first time in a little bit, man. It was good to see you.
Man, that was nice, man. It was just real cool, man, just to lay eyes on folk, man. That was special. It's something special about that in-person fellowship, right? I mean, it's cool to get the word, and that is super important. In addition to that, what's also important is the fellowship, man, amongst the brethren and sistren as well.
Sistren?
Yes, sistren. So, man, that was special, man. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was cool.
You know, everybody kept their mask on, too. You know, cats trying to act right, man. I appreciate that, too. Solid Word. Solidword.org if y'all didn't know.
Check it out.
Good times. And, you know, I will say this, just why not give a quick nugget of message, man. Psalm 111 and the parallel to Psalm 112, I thought that was real nice, talking about, our good Father in the Lord in Psalm 111 and Psalm 112, kind of us practically, how it looks like to be a good father. I thought that was a cool connection, man, to think about some of those things.
Yeah, I'm definitely, during my own quiet time, I definitely want to go ahead and dig into that Psalm 111, man, to be able to connect those two. I really appreciate that, man, just the time that he put into educating us, right? I mean, I thought that was extra cool.
Yeah, it was good. Speaking of being a father nowadays, I must say a lot's happened. We've been on here since, was it April? Was the last time we got together? And so, man, coronavirus at its peak, and then fast forward, and we've had multiple killings of black folk out here, and the response has been loud, strong, a lot of magnitude, polar, I would say. I don't know how's that landed on you, Grady, your family, and your circle. I'm just curious if you wanted to give some thoughts on that.
Yeah, man, it's been something that I've been just kind of observing from the sideline, really trying to process what all is going on, and I think now I'm starting to see how is it that I can actively be engaged as to what the solution is. And we've been having discussions and just listening to various thought leaders out there and seeing, what are some different ideas from a practical standpoint, how to be a part of the solution. And I think we all know. I mean, it all starts with just that heart needs to change, man. I mean, we all know. I
Hmm.
mean, not to
Hmm.
get super spiritual, but there is a spiritual component to it, though, man. There are some hearts out there, man, that are just really cold and is quite frankly wicked. Even, I mean, just some of the actions that are taking place are, man, it just ain't cool. So that's first things first. But also really trying to see, okay, how can it be an education standpoint? Because I mean, there's been various polls that have been done and conversations, and a lot of people are not aware of uh, the challenges that blacks have experienced, and not just past tense, but even present tense, continue to experience
Yeah.
as to the way that blacks are treated, just the differences. I mean, I give you a perfect example, something real simple. Just on the way
Okay.
home from church today, man, I was driving and something that, praise God, I just started doing here again recently. And it's funny, as I started driving again, it's in the middle of the current climate we're in. So, man, I'm going the speed limit. I ain't running no red lights, no nothing. And was driving, and I'm going the speed limit. Got it on cruise control. Man, somebody's on my bumper, and a family. They don't look like me. I just kind of put it that way. They don't look like me, and I was just tripping. I said, man, can y'all cool out? Like, I really can't go no faster. And uh, if you look like me, you wouldn't want to go faster, just because of, just to be honest with you, just some of the challenges that may arise if you get pulled over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just one of those things to where some that they don't really have to worry about. And it's it's serious, man. So, yeah, Shreed and I have been talking about, man, how to go about addressing this. And one thing is to really look around in your circle, man. I would, man, definitely the first one to confess, man. As I look around in my circle of friends and just my social circle, man, for the most part, it's folk that look like me, and I'm challenged to start changing that, to at least make an effort. I mean, whether people connect or not, that's one thing, but at least make an effort to, like, continually have that conversation, just general conversations. I mean, just something as simple as, whether it's shooting hoop or playing video games, it don't got to be nothing real deep, but I mean, just, the people that I socialize with and chop it up with, what do they look like? And if I had to be honest, man, for the most part, they don't look like me. Therefore, there may be some things that they don't understand that I experienced as a black man because they don't really have that connection, with the black man. Well, how can I go about changing that? Just now there's a two-way thing though. It can go both ways too. People can reach out to me as well, and so. Man, it's a long conversation, man. I'm being long-winded, man, but I'm just to sum it up, man. I'm just really challenged to start making some adjustments, and then also I'm trying to figure out how to properly go about addressing the injustices that are done, because they are injustices indeed.
Yeah. No,
And
I hear you, man.
yeah, that's what I'm challenged with, just how to practically do that. But go ahead, brother. I cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. You're good. We got the thesis, boy. I got to listen to that Grady knowledge, man.
Man, come on,
Professor
man.
Grady. I'm sit back and soak it up.
Man, come on.
But on the real, man, it impacts all of us differently for sure. But if you don't get an impact, certainly there's something got to be wrong with not having a heart response to what's happening. I do find one of the questions I ask is, why is this one? This has been going on for 400 years, all my lifetime, generations before. What is unique about this has make it even more mainstream, quote unquote, than it has in the past, even beyond just the whole, hey, it's newsworthy. And I really like what you said around the whole, how do you make it practical? How do we make it practical? And I've distilled it down like this because there are colleagues at work. There's circles outside of work. You got people at church. You got your own family. Here's my little thing, Grady. I'll give it to you as I've thought about it. And actually, it's like an acronym, ALL, like all. Ironically, not all lives matter, but it really on some Black lives type stuff. But I was like, man, you got to acknowledge the situation that it's crazy. Like some people won't even do that, to say something.
Yeah,
I know people
yeah,
leaving companies and doing stuff and are uncomfortable just because people act like it's another Tuesday or Wednesday at work, and it's not. People are going through stuff, whether Black or majority. So after it's acknowledged, and then with the first L was like, leave space for this conversation. whether it's for people who look like us or look differently, but have we created space for this conversation? Because often, ain't nobody wants to talk about it. It's taboo, whatever it means, all those constructs and all that, because it is really layered. This issue is layered, no question. And the third one, and this is where it gets to being practical, you and I, we're not out here just to be quarreling and fighting with people who are entrenched in their position. But I was like, how do we leverage this sphere of influence? That's the last L. And that could be if you by yourself, hey, I got to check my own heart, my mind, you know what I mean? And what's going on? That might be where I have to, drive change in the way I think. It could be my family. So I'm like, hey, if I got to, change how I'm influencing my family, my son, my wife, my daughter, et cetera. But for others, you might be, have a whole group of people or best friends or an organization or a whole team of people. But are you leveraging that influence to have those conversations and change and challenge the mental construct? Because it's not much unlike evangelism in my mind, which is, sometimes the impacted parties, those who are victimized and those who actually have the truth of the story, the burden's on them to kind of put it out there, to try to pull people along, kind of like discipleship or dealing with the sin problem or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do and encourage people to do. And some people that's just a conversation, others that's, financial support. It could be organizational support. But I think really actually trying to make a difference and having those tough discussions, just like Father's Day, if fathers go and do their things around the country, around the world will be a better place. Same with this. If everybody works their sphere of influence, hey man, the world will be a better place. No macro, big, huge thing, no government policy, but just, hey, let's work where we've got an opportunity to work and kind of push it, That's my quick reflection on how to deal with it. It's painful and hurtful and a bunch of conversations we got to have, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Wow. Acknowledge, leave room for conversation, and leverage. Oh,
That's
I
it.
like
That's
that, man. I like that.
we actually had
Man,
that conversation at work, man, which is crazy, which was cool. People been at work, in their roles for 30 years, haven't been able to, they're like, man, we never had talks like this. I guess, what can I do? And let me try to do that. And hey, it's a way to at least try to catalyze change.
yeah. And I think to your point earlier and to your question, I've been wondering the same thing. Like, why is it so different here in 2020 where it's garnering so much attention as opposed to in 92, Rodney
Yeah,
King. You know what I'm saying? What is different or as opposed to last year and the year before? Because, I mean,
that's where
there's
I'm at. Just
been,
3 months ago,
you know
what
what I'm
was it about
saying?
George Floyd that made it go versus
Yes.
Ahmaud Arbery? You know what I mean? Like it's like a tipping point. Was that the critical mass? Was that you know what I mean?
It makes you,
It's an
I really
interesting
have
one.
been wondering. I can't put my thumb on it, but I mean, I got ideas, but I don't know, man. But I'm glad it is happening because, I mean,
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? You see on the news a lot, just various companies and the monies that they're putting towards, this matter and things of that nature. And so hopefully I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just really, but hey, nonetheless, though, it is happening, so that's the good news.
Yeah,
That's the,
yeah. What's been the hardest part for you though? As a dad, as a black man yourself, as you watching and taking in all this news. You got Trump out here on Juneteenth in
man,
Texas.
man,
Clearly there's forces going the wrong way. I'm just,
man.
how's that landing on you and how you processing that thing?
You know what? I've been purposely trying to detach myself from the headlines and from like I still have not watched the whole George Floyd video. I might have watched 30 seconds because I knew just from rapping to others and seeing the headlines, social media, I knew what happened. I just can't. It's tough to even bring myself to watch that. So, and then the others as well. So I've been intentionally trying to not detaching from the whole matter altogether, but try not to get myself overworked and just an emotional mess. Like for instance, I saw Just Mercy the other day, and that was man. At the end of the
Struggle
movie,
movie,
man,
struggle
struggle
movie,
movie. Yeah, those are.
alert,
Hey, for those in the audience, man,
alert.
those are favorite movies.
Oh man.
Sarcasm intended on that.
Yeah, solidly, solidly.
but at the end of that movie, man, it was a brother, man, was in there wrongly convicted for 30 years, man. And man, he was able to get released. And I shedded it. Man, I was crying, man. It just blew my mind as to how much life he missed out on for some day he had no involvement with.
Man.
And just that right there just let me know, if I had been watching the news with all the other stuff that's going on, I'd be weeping every day, man. To answer your question, man, it's really been it's really been making me look at the things that could have happened to me. Because man, I have to say, man, one thing I'm grateful for it, man. I haven't had much, personally speaking, much of a run in. I know a lot of black men do have the getting pulled over by police story and being wrongfully treated. Man, that's something I have not had. And I think of it's a song by The Truth, man. He said the chorus to the song says, "I ain't got no horror story. God kept me in my youth. I give him all the glory." And the whole point he's trying to get across is he doesn't have the testimony of I was a drug dealer, I was in and out of prison and all that. Now he was still a sinner nonetheless, but he doesn't have that crazy powerful testimony, right? Same on my end, man, I don't really have that crazy testimony of getting pulled over or getting, you fit a description. That I haven't had that. So, but yeah, I can still relate because I got a lot of close people that have had that experience. But I'm starting to realize that more and more, man, it is really serious, man. I mean, I'm realizing that there is extra hard work, as we say amongst ourselves a lot of times, man. It's like the extra work you got to put in to get noticed, or man, just to be frank, I mean, when a resume is sent in, and if there's a name that stands out that's more ethnic than another name, man, the reality of it is that ethnic name may not get picked for an interview. I mean, just
Yeah.
realize, I mean, some of these things that are
It's
going on that
racist thing,
should
man.
not be.
Racist.
Man, how
Yeah.
silly is that? How silly? Just as qualified as a non-ethnic name, but just because he has a name that stands out, he's not even getting a phone call. Man, that's silly. And
It's real.
you know what I'm
It's real
saying?
though. Yeah. It's
And
real though.
I hope it don't. I mean, with everything being so present right now, I'm hoping that can come to a cease. I mean, this person might be the best candidate, the best employee you can get. But
Let me throw this at you, Grady,
man,
because on the low, like there was something at work, which is cool. I don't know if you heard about these blinding resume campaigns,
no,
where
no, you got to fill me in
basically,
on that. I'm not familiar with
yeah.
that.
So imagine you get a stack of to get at the unconscious bias or this systemic racism that's kind of built into it. You know what I mean? They actually take the resumes, give them to a third party company, and they scrub anything cultural, the name, et cetera, and then you have to judge them based on just the content that's warranted. And then the company does the blah blah, the interviews, all that sort of stuff. And then now, granted, sometimes the voice you can catch all that, but the point is to get through the door. You know what I mean? To get into
Yes.
the conversation is enough in some cases to give us a fair shot. But
Wow.
but that's the sort of programmatic kind of stuff I should say
Yes.
you have to kind
Yes.
of do because we all got it. I mean, I got my blind spots for fill in the blank, whatever. So to act like it's just this applies to everybody, it's just real pervasive here because we know about the whole history for us. You know what I mean in this country and that journey. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's putting in those kinds of programs and practices again back to that sphere of influence where you work and what you do and what you control or have the ability to steward. How are you? How are we knocking out any of those blind spots? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's about at the end of the day. Consciousness. But
Wow. I
I,
like that, man. Wow. The
the other
resume.
thing,
I never heard of that. That's sweet. But go ahead,
yeah.
brother. Go ahead.
No, the other thing that I think is interesting is, man, I don't know about you. Sometimes you be the only brother in the room. That's not an uncommon thing.
Right. Right.
I don't care
Right.
if you at school, at work, whatever the case may be. For me, it was kind of both. But this idea, I've seen these two constructs, which is funny, which is where, people on the majority side feel like this utter amount of guilt, almost so much so that they almost don't want to bring it up, and talk about that sort of thing. And I've learned almost like from a Christian point of view, creating space for grace, you know what I mean? To kind of see where people can move. How do I say it? Like some people really don't even get it and they're completely blind, but you're not going to turn overnight and they're going to be like pro-black, hand and fist in the air, you know what I mean? Running the next protest rally. And I'm not saying that that's right, wrong, or possible, but the point is that, having a conversation just to move them a little bit further. It's like no different than, say, for example, someone who might be an atheist or agnostic, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to make them a disciple tomorrow, or they won't become one, but maybe we can get them to understand, hey, maybe there is intelligent design for creation, or perhaps that is how that, you know what I mean? Like just moving them a bit,
Yeah.
everybody moving. It's about progress, not necessarily about getting everybody where, you know what I mean, we ultimately are supposed to go. Because, having that sort of grace and appreciation for just progress, man, awareness, that goes
Yes.
a long way. Now, some people are further along and are completely enlightened and they're on the wrong spot. Now, that's a whole nother kind of conversation. Don't get me
Man,
wrong,
is it
but
ever?
we got to assess that thing and, respond accordingly.
Wow. It's interesting stuff, man, because, the progress, like I said, that just little by little, before you know it, man, we are really very far along. And that can even go down to like the next generation, right? As the, parents, are starting to make progress towards, just the proper thinking and from a social standpoint. And then, the kids see that. And speaking of kids, man, I've been seeing a couple of videos here and there, and they even just observing, my kids, man, it's just a beautiful thing, man, to see the connection that they have with any other kid, man, regardless of how they look like, man. It's just a
Bro,
beautiful sight, man.
it
It's like,
is.
wow,
It is.
man, why can't us grown folk be that way? You know what I'm
You know what's
saying?
funny? I love that idea. I'll give you a story that comes to mind. I remember our son when we were living in England, and he was like 18 months, right? And they're playing. Kids from all sorts of countries, don't have anything, but it doesn't mean they don't observe and see differences. And so it's how to deal with those. So I remember the first day there was a kid that asked him. He said, "Hey, why is your skin brown?" That's a real delicate question. And praise the Lord that we would be able to say like, "Oh, because God made us that way."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But in the absence of that, that could be construed as, hey, what's
yeah,
wrong with you? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so presence and making sure people are proud of what it is and who created them is really important, which again, this whole thing comes back to at the end of the day, biblical principles, man, and approaches
man.
with
Yes,
life. And
sir.
so we can kind of get lost in just this thing. It's just an example.
Yeah,
Certainly an important one. Don't get me wrong. I did not mean to downplay any of that because
for
it's
sure, for sure.
but that story comes to mind as you share that.
And get this, that question was one that was like innocent. It was innocent, but it could be, and it was one out of ignorance, perhaps. Maybe we can say that, but it was one that was innocent, especially at that age. And man,
Yeah.
just think of how that could really set a person off, though, man. That may not, be about the book. If you, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, be about that book. Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? It could really set a person off, and it really wasn't even meant to go that direction. So there's a level of maturity and a level of patience we got to have in one another, and just understanding that we're all at different places in our understanding,
Yeah.
and just really acknowledging that, and as you said earlier, man, making room for grace,
That's it. At the end of the day, because how much
making
has
room
been
for
made for
grace,
me, man? As much as I jack this thing
man.
up, the least we can
Oh,
do.
come on now,
Can't get too high on some horse.
come on now,
I don't even deserve to be out here. So hey, come on with the come on.
man. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
Brady, you gonna take us on in, man. You gonna take us home with the scripture today?
Yeah, yeah. But for those that are listening, it was BP chose the scripture, so let's get it straight. I ain't taking no credit, but I will read it
Oh,
though at your
okay. Well,
request,
hey man,
brethren.
appreciate you, man. Look, we in this thing together. Come on now. I in together, as they say, out here in these COVID streets right now. Micah 6:8, Grady. Micah 6:8, man. This one is so real to me. People try to ask, hey, what is it I can do or how can we behave? Man, three things. This goes back to that acronym. Three things we can do. Let the people know, Grady. Let them know.
All right. ESV version, English Standard Version, Micah 6:8. He has told you, oh man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. Let's
Boom.
run that back one more time,
One time,
homeboy.
man. Come on,
One
man.
more time.
Come
He
on,
has
man.
told you, oh man, what is good.
What's that?
And hey, and what does the Lord require of you?
Tell me, Grady, what three things does he require of us?
Hey, to do justice,
Uh,
love kindness,
yeah.
and walk humbly with your God.
Man, see the progression of that, man. Come on, Micah. Prophet. Come on, prophet. Talk to him.
Man,
What's the mean?
straight
Talk to him,
practical,
Grady.
wasn't he?
Talk to him. I mean, come on, man. People asking for practicality out here. What's he ask of us? No matter what. Coronavirus, social injustice, unemployment, sickness, health. Grady, what's it? What we got to do?
Do justice,
Yeah.
love kindness.
Yeah.
We got to love kindness. Don't just like begrudgingly, oh man, all right, I'll be kind. No,
Man,
love kindness.
talk to the people.
One of the fruits of the spirit, I'm sorry, Galatians 5:23-24, but we'll get there another day.
Yeah,
Love kindness and to walk humbly with your God.
yeah.
Walk, lifestyle.
We walk it.
We walk this. It sounds like a song by somebody I know.
You out. You out.
SOC. Yeah.
No,
Overcome album, right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's
yeah,
rock. I'm sorry.
you're right. No, you good.
Sidetrack. Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's good. It's
Go
where
ahead,
it
grab
comes.
that. Apple. No.
Man, that's too
Everywhere.
funny.
Google. Overcome. SOC. All right, let's get back to Micah 6:8.
You wild. I do think though, man, when people were trying to do the right thing in this time, in the verses that come before this, stuff, oh, good cause, good heart, I'm going to try to do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, said, no, 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 no. It ain't about this material things you're doing. You just writing that check ain't good enough, man. Do justice, love kindness,
Speak that,
and
man.
walk humbly. Like
Where my
not walk
tambourine
in,
at? Shake my
not
tambourine.
walk as though you got no problems. At the end of the day, God is the one who enables, man. So great, I appreciate you dropping that, man.
Man.
We do this thing together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow. And hey, man, I'm hyped, man. Man, where we at on? Man, I'm a comment, man. I don't care where we at on
Man, go
time.
ahead.
I got a comment
Come on,
on.
bro. Come on, man. We're getting close, but we are.
Yeah,
The
man.
good news is we get to do what we want to do on this show, man. The people
You
keep
got a point.
showing love, man.
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
appreciate you hanging in there with us, man. Keep us lifting up, though. We need it.
Yeah, for real. Wow. I like the walk humbly with your God, and that is something that we need His guidance. We need that connection with Him, because there's a walk humbly, and people like to say I'm humble and this and that, which in itself is a you don't just go out shouting I'm humble. No, walk humbly with your God, in accordance with how He expects us to walk and live, right? I mean, that walk is referring to, the way we live and just lifestyle, and just the way we think, the way our heart beats. And man, to walk humbly with your God, the one who requires these things of us, doing justice and loving kindness. And I'm kind of doing the verse backwards, and all of that is what is good, so that's what's good right about
Yeah.
now. And man, just imagine, man, if gang of folk, man, just grabbed a hold of this, us included, starting with us. And if we just grabbed a
Yeah.
hold of this and live this out, man, it would just be a beautiful thing, man. I can be able to go out and about, man, have my little boy, my little girl playing outside, man, and, going about living life and not have to be nervous and worried as a parent at home as to what they're going to be confronted with at school. I mean, I won't have to worry about that if we all grabbed a hold of this.
That's real, man. I love that. Love the fact, too, as you paint that picture, there's no circumstance around it. You know what I mean? He's not like if it's good or if it's bad. He's like, I had already told you. Let me just remind you one good time. You know what I mean? Like this is nothing
Yeah.
new. And even when stuff is tough, and it's been tough, and it is tough. Let's not even disregard that. But even in the midst of, man, here are the three things: doing justice, loving kindness, and walking humbly, because He is with us. Emmanuel. Come on, bro.
Man,
With that, my brother, my grizzly.
brother. Yes, sir. My dirty.
Pleasure to be back in here. Thank y'all for joining us again and talking a bit about this. We're going to come back with another episode 11. Keep it rolling. Grady, anything else for the people?
Hey, yes. TotallyCrossedOut.com. Check it out. Jump on Google, Apple. Y'all know where to find us. Ask Alexa. Hey, play Totally Crossed Out podcast. Y'all know where to find us, and feel free to share with others. We would love that. And yeah. Thank y'all so much for the support.
Much love, y'all. We'll get at y'all the next time.
Peace.
Don't chase them clouds away. We've got no time to waste. It's a new day. Strive to find within you peace.